have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the parents' lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the parents' lounge is the cure to staying sane. Welcome to another special edition of the Parents' Lounge. Jamie Kaler, Jason Gowan, our special guest, our pal, the reason we're all together, Mr. Dave Schrader.
He's a lot better looking than Mulligan.
Television's Dave Schrader. Mulligan's on vacation. Oh my gosh. Never mind. Our other to complete the square. The circle meets the square. Please welcome voiceover artist extraordinaire from Reno 911, Mr. Carlos Alasroque.
Hello there, sir.
Oh, there. Who needs women? We don't need them.
Well,
the He-Man Woman's Hater Club.
Mulligan didn't even respond. We think she's in Cape Cod, in probably a cabin on the water, fighting sharks. I don't know what's happening.
With her striking husband.
We would have done a Tuesday, but it was the 4th of July, and apparently it's the one night of the year that everyone needs to explode fireworks all night long. All night.
All night long.
All night.
Well, yeah, while people are doing smash and
grabs. Say it again.
All night.
No, Jamie, if you say it again, Lionel Richie is going to sue.
All night long.
I was dancing on the ceiling.
What was happening? I mean, so there were fireworks. We're near Universal Studios. So fireworks were over at 10. And I'm like, okay, kids. And before I could even say, okay, kids, boof, 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 boof. And I go, oh, somebody's doing some local. 4 o'clock in the morning, still just boom, boom, boom. I had to put the noise machine on. And, by the way, 4th of July, not the best day for dogs. Not.
I
spent the
dogs or veterans.
I was in Oxnard at our place, and I was during fireworks upstairs in the upstairs bathroom with my laptop on the toilet, watching a soccer game and babysitting my small dog who was not having it. So yeah, not working.
Why were you watching on the toilet? Is that how you watch soccer?
Yeah, it's a laptop because I had to be with the dog, and it's Apple TV. So yeah,
you take it anywhere.
Couldn't bring the big screen into the bathroom.
Was that El Trafico?
El Trafico, yeah, 82,000 at Pasadena. But yeah, I brought the dogs to the beach last year, and they made it. We start to walk out towards the beach, and one big loud boom, and the other one's like, "Nope, not doing it." I said, "You guys go. I will babysit the dog."
Yeah.
Not happening.
Now, did you do it? Did you do it out of the dog kindness of your heart, or because you wanted to watch soccer?
The latter, all day long.
I figured as much.
Yeah. Listen, you guys go have fun on the beach. I pull out the violin. I'll stay with the dog. Cut to me going, "Come on, put it in the net." Scaring my dog even more. I think the dog was more scared of me screaming at the computer screen than fireworks, so it backfired.
We had 3 barbecues. It was funny because the whole 4th of July weekend, starting even Thursday night, never left my house or my neighbors. We just ate, drank, jumped in each other's pools. The whole neighborhood hung out. It was super fun. I was pretty drinky most of the weekend. Sure, why not? I'm not going anywhere. And then the 4th of July, I had 3 barbecues I had to go to. Stone sober, because I had to drive all day. So we went to the first one, we went to the second one, I go to the third one, and coming away from the third one, the kids are in the car. I know people are kind of crazy, so I'm in Woodland Hills. I'm driving down a hill, and I stop. There's a yellow light. The other guy flies past me. I stop, and just as I stop, This white Mercedes goes to take the left turn in front of me, 80 miles an hour. He doesn't make the turn, goes through a cinder block wall right to my right, down an embankment 10 feet from the person's pool. I'm like, oh my God. My kids didn't even see it. I was like, did anyone else just, I pull over. I go like, I think I'm going to have to like do CPR and save people's lives. By the time I get to the car, down the embankment, through the cinder block wall, the dude's out of the car. It's a really nice Mercedes that is utterly destroyed.
This sounds like an ad for Mercedes.
It's crazy. He's on his phone, and the girl's in her bikini, and they're both out of the car, and they're like, no, we're all good, we're okay, everything's okay. And I was like, okay. And he goes, no, don't worry about it. I'm calling a tow truck. I go, pretty sure the police are going to come, my friend, but
yeah,
good luck with the tow. He was calling a tow truck, thinking somebody was just, oh no, just tow it out. We'll worry about the wall. Like I was insane.
Yeah, it's not like you're Superman in a Marvel movie where Superman can destroy 17 buildings without repercussions. Yeah, Stan Lee is not writing this story for you. You gotta hang around, buddy.
This other car stopped, and this other guy gets out, and he goes, that dude, when he went by us at about 110 miles an hour, he almost killed us.
Yeah.
And my guess is he went to jail. But then he was so adamant about the police not coming. He was a young dude. Should not have been in that Mercedes. It was either dad's or he was a drug dealer or something. So when he's like, seems really antsy about the police coming, and I've got my wife and 2 kids there, I'm like, we're out. Because I don't, you just never know. You're like, you worry if the cops are going to show up, and this guy's like, I'm not going,
Yeah,
so
I've been to 3 barbecues.
Yeah. But it was one of those days where like I didn't drink all day at the barbecues, and then I was like, oh, this is why. That's why. Yeah. So the 4th of July, one day I was sober the whole weekend.
You could have been that cinder block wall.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, it was a good lesson for the kids. I was like, well, you see. Yeah.
That's why you drive sober.
How was everybody's 4th? Dave?
Go ahead, David.
I sent you pictures, Gowan. If you actually want to show a couple of examples of what I had to surround myself with, that's 2 of my boys, their buddy, and my grandson. They are full Patriots, even in a red, white, and blue kilt. And this is what we do every year: is we get together at the end of our block, 2 or 3 of the neighbors, and we just all buy about $150 worth of fireworks and blow them off safely, so that there's no other problems around town.
Those who are listening and cannot see this, by the way, you should. Tuesdays we're normally live 7 Pacific. Tonight we're a special show Thursday. But if you're listening to this on iTunes, be sure to come over and watch us live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and I believe Twitter. There's a bunch. Anyway, he is showing, dude, that is the craziest collection of stars and stripes. It's like they're modeling like the original Betsy Ross flags, where it was just amalgam, and they were trying to figure out which flag are we going with. It's a crazy.
Yeah, it's like the marketing meeting at Betsy Ross's house.
Yeah, right there. And she's like, "Oh, let's go with the one on the left." And
honestly, I look at that picture. That picture says to me, "Tampa, Florida."
It
screams Tampa.
Does. You know what? It also says to me, here, go back to the first one. Would you, Jay, when I'm driving down the street and I see the 3 of them from behind, not knowing it's them at first, and I thought I just walked into The Purge. This is what I thought I was coming into.
That should be The Purge. Here was
and part of me's like, do I just drive past my house or
this was my bathing suit for the 4th. My Stars and Stripes bathing suit that I think I got at Target 20 years ago.
Nice.
If I didn't know, like if I just told you the name Proud Boys and I didn't tell you anything else about it, you would think they looked like this, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. This feels Proud Boyish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's not strap that to my children, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. They are definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you hear Proud Boys, you're like, oh, that's what they should. That's honestly, that's how they should dress.
Yeah. Right. All I'm saying is nobody in that picture was drinking Bud Light. Okay. Let me tell you something.
No. But they
were.
Because
Kelsey is now part of it. Yeah.
There you go. Well, our 4th was in Oxnard, California, at the beach. We had 8 adults and 6 kids in our house there. So very loud, very exhausting. But I do do my morning ritual where I jump into the cold waters of Oxnard to wake up and make sure I'm still alive. But very mellow. You know, we had burgers, hot dogs. They went and saw fireworks. They spent the night in the bathroom with the dog, and we came back home on the 4th at 1 a.m. It was a choice of driving back on the 5th and taking more traffic, or driving through drunk drivers who run through cinder block walls. And we chose the latter and the former, and went home on the 4th. And it was nice and mellow. Lots of kids. The kids outnumbered the adults. There were 8 kids and 6 adults, so that was very dangerous.
That's how we were too. It was kind of fun. You know, it is funny when you have kids. Like you're a young guy, and then all of a sudden you're in those ages where you're just the single parties where you're tearing it up and everyone's getting hammered and it's super fun or whatever. And then it gets to the new parties where you're like just the old guy trying to sip a beer in the back while they are, you're like, oh, look at the kid. And so we ended up swimming with the kids. But we went to my buddy's house. And there was a ton of kids there, and everyone was, ah! And then the next day I spoke to him, and they had one bathroom that was allotted for the party. And when he woke up, he went down to use the bathroom. He told me at 5:30 in the morning, and there was 3 inches of water. Everything had clogged up from hosting the party, and it destroyed his house. And he has
let's put that Roman candle in the toilet. Yeah. Oh, gross.
Yeah, that'll clear it right up.
Nobody teaches kids how to use toilet. Like my kids use a whole roll of toilet paper every time. I go, A, don't use the whole roll. And B, I don't know if you know this, but you don't have to just flush once. You can do numerous flushes. Like we used to have the poop knife with Hannah. We had to have a poop knife where you had when you're like a 2-year-old is dropping a football, you're like, holy cow, how did that come out of there?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like when your intestines and your mind are free from cloggage.
Yeah, very much so.
Everything just flows, baby.
Carlos, I was at a gathering a few weeks ago, and everybody's talking about all the revivals that are going on and all the 90s cartoons and everything coming back. And they're like, man, Rugrats and this, that they're bringing back Futurama. And then one guy goes, it's all shit. When are they bringing Rocko's Modern Life back? Until then, count me out. And I was like,
good. Oh. Good for that person. I would like to meet that person. Yes, thank you.
Yes. So obviously,
I don't know if it'll ever come back. And you know, my manager always hopes that the Chihuahua would come back, but the 90s are gone. Yeah. You know, different sensibilities now. But
they're not. They're coming back.
Yeah, Rocco does very well at the signing conventions when I do cons. And by the way, Jason, I'm coming to Pennsylvania again. I was just in Altoona, and I'm going to come in September, and I'll get you to the city. I would
love to see you.
People are very reverential of Rocco at the cons, and so there is an audience for it. And I don't know, Joe Murray's in Belgium now, so I don't know if it would ever come back, but that person has mighty good taste for sure.
You know what's funny, dude? I don't know if by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, Carlos is the voice, the Taco Bell Chihuahua.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could do that nowadays. I think people would be like, you're stealing our heritage. And I don't know.
Even when I did it in the 90s, I got phone calls. Before wokeism was wokeism, I got calls. Oh, yeah.
That said what?
Complaints. You're being racist. You're being a sellout to your culture. I went to Sacramento State, my alma mater. I performed there. There was the League of Latino students that were there to protest me being the Chihuahua. And
really?
It was like, you know, stereotypical of Latinos and that, and then other people who were there at the show, like, I love my Chihuahua. Shut up, man. Don't listen to these kids. It was crazy. It was pre 9/11. So somebody needed a scapegoat for something, right? But when people talk about wokeism and getting canceled, and like they were attempting to cancel me back in 97. So
that's crazy, because I know when they tried to cancel Speedy Gonzalez, which they basically have, the Hispanic culture is one that stood up and said, we love Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah, what Jorge Gutierrez, people like that in the arts. Yeah, it gets a little, it's usually white liberals that try to stand up for other cultures because they're bored. And that was sort of the case back then. But it would not be able to come back now. There's no way. It just nope.
Well, we talked about this before, but it's so funny. It's so selective. Like you can do a Southern accent. You can do your Scottish accent. Have fun. Tear it up.
But even the Lucky Charms leprechaun, I noticed, it's a lot less cartoony now, right? It's more like an Irish guy. It's not me Lucky Charms with rainbows. It's actually like a real kind of sounding Irish accent. So
really, it's like a real Irish guy who's like, you know, when I'm not trying to bomb the English, I make Lucky Charms. Like it's a serious Irish guy now.
It's a serious Irish guy. Yeah, I'm depressed.
The best
I've left
part
my
is
wife. I hate Catholicism. But I love this.
I know.
series.
I'll make a giant balloon and float the fuck away. Yeah. When I was in Ireland, they have the Leprechaun Museum. And when you go in, they're really funny about it because they're like, yeah, we don't really have leprechauns here. We've got, we people, and it's the Walt Disney Company and Darby O'Gill that created the leprechauns. And in their museum, it's the Lucky Charms guy. It's all American culture, and
That's so funny.
the leprechaun movies and everything. That's where they really kind of get a kick out of the fact. So Ireland's got an entire leprechaun museum dedicated to American leprechauns.
Which is
love it.
crazy. You can do a Swedish accent. No one's gonna light you up for it. But if you try a Chinese accent, man,
Yeah, where's the hate for the Swedish chef from the Muppets? I mean, you feel like that would have set somebody off.
We're so selective about what offends us, right? Like I'm from Boston, and if anyone ever does a Boston accent, I'm not like, "Hey, man, that's my heritage. You're culturally,
You're
I
doing a
don't
bad
get it.
Mark Wahlberg. Yeah.
They're saying something now about how it's unfair for straight actors to play gay, right? Like you can't have that. That's the big thing now. You can't have straight actors play gay, but arguably throughout history, probably most actors were gay guys playing straight. I just watched Rock Hudson's documentary.
Yeah.
And you're like, but nowadays, isn't that the point of acting, to pretend to be somebody else? I don't get the whole premise of like Daniel Day-Lewis can't play Christy, whatever his name,
Christy Brown.
Christy Brown. He can't play that because they go like, dude, that's so not cool. But it's a real person. He's playing a real person. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think it's relative to the project. You certainly can't have Charlton Heston playing Inspector Vargas again. Nobody's going to buy it, right? I'm Inspector Vargas. No, you're not.
Well, and you had like John Wayne played Genghis Khan, and
Jimmy Stewart
Joseph Fiennes played Michael Jackson in some rando movie.
Yeah, so it's relative to the project, and you want to if you have gay actors or disabled actors, like the latest was the guy who won the Oscar, and I saw him in Calgary from The Mummy, who played the whale. Right, he gained a bunch of weight, but then he used prosthetics.
Brendan Fraser,
yeah.
So, he did gain a bunch of weight on his own. Actually, I think he ballooned up to like 300 pounds, and the rest was prosthetics. But some could argue that they complain about that. Why didn't you get a real 600-pound actor of that capability is really hard to find. So yeah, it gets a little much when you're trying to balance out the scales. You end up tipping it back. The thing about my kids auditioning is that it'll say open ethnicity, and then they'll end up going with Asian or Indian or black or whatever. And you just feel like saying, just be honest up front. Just say we're going to cast somebody of color so that we don't waste our time preparing for the audition, doing the audition, and getting all excited about it. Just be upfront. And I get it where they have to say that legally, but it would be so much nicer if just like, your kids have no shot at this because we are going to go with a person with dark pigmentation. So don't
Carlos, that's not necessarily true. There's one holdout hope if you're looking for kids to get a role.
Yeah.
Dye your kids' hair red. If they look like natural gingers, they have a much better chance of getting in on these roles. So, Kaylor, maybe a little Botox. We could start calling you JK, and you can try to smooth in and just be like 18-year-old JK, trying to pick up.
Is Jamie about to play a bearded man soon? Because there are already so many established beards out there. I'm having this is my strike beard. It's like hockey playoffs, Carlos. I see you got yours too. A beard.
Yeah, just keep it this way. Yeah, it's lazy dad beard.
I just stopped caring years ago.
Yeah.
Going back to that other thing is that what I try to teach my kids is, and I think this is we've lost this ability, is that people don't have the ability to laugh at themselves anymore. Everyone takes everything they do so seriously that no one can sit there and go, I did something stupid. I can laugh at it. Nobody can do that.
But the converse is true too, where you have comedians go, man, they're canceling all my stuff, and they're like, yeah, but you're crappy anyway. So that bit you did is really bad. It's so what?
Because watch Bill Burr, he dangerously lives on the line, and it is blindingly funny.
Schrader, I feel like this is a good segue for you.
Well, hold on. First, I want to say one thing. I saw this article about Roseanne Barr and her anti-Semitic comments on a recent podcast. And the headline talks about it's unforgivable, and she calls on violence against Jews. And I read the article, and I actually reached out to the author of the article, and I had him on the morning show with me this morning. And at near the end of the interview, I go, I've got to ask you a question. When I read the article, you are calling her to task. You are calling her out wholeheartedly for these comments, and having you on the interview, you're very apologetic for her because you're saying that people are taking what she said out of context, but your headline says she's anti-Semitic, Jewish actress, anti-Semitic. And he goes, that's a good point. You're right. And I said, but most people don't bother reading the story beyond there. Mm-hmm. That could ruin the career of somebody.
I think it
simply by a headline. You're right.
Well, wasn't she
but
just
if you listen,
like she said, it's out of context. She threw it away.
It was in context. If you listen to the deal, she was talking about the election fraud conspiracies and other conspiracies, and she's like, and the Holocaust never happened, and 6 million Jews didn't die, but they should because they're the ones in charge of everything, causing all the problems in the world. And she's doing this kind of tongue-in-cheek deal, and people have gone after her again without even listening to the contextual aspect of that.
It was part of the reason was that Theo Von was trying to handle it, but he didn't handle it. He was kind of a bad interviewer in that because she didn't even use that tone. She used the tone. She was being sarcastic, but it sounded like she was being serious. So that's where the host really has to come in and go, you're fucking with us, right? And he kind of tried to do it, but conversely, she's not relevant anymore. She's just trying to say something to be relevant, and it's sad. She's done. She's done.
But look how much ratings that podcast got off of it. So we were talking about this the other day. Is I like the posts I put up that get the most. It's crazy. If you put a post up where half the people are like, "You're the worst parent of all time," and the other half are like, "You're the greatest parent," that's the post. Yeah, that's the post. But if you just put up one positive thing that's like, hey, this is pretty good parenting, and everyone's like, that is good parenting, it will eat it.
Boring.
It if it bleeds, it leads. And it's like, so we're training our next generations to be toxic because you can monetize the whole thing because it's about numbers and stuff. So there's no goal to be positive to anybody. You want to create conflict. We've had guests on here who are very, very popular, and that's exactly what they told us. They go, oh my gosh, if somebody puts a negative comment, it's like gold.
Hey guys, I'm going to be live streaming my toothbrushing and flossing, and then I'm going to do a dental rinse, man. It's going to be live streaming. It's going to be awesome. Then I'm going to pay some bills on time, and then I'm going to go to work and collect a minimum wage paycheck and invest it. I'm not going to spend it. You're going to love these videos.
Dude, you have to do that we should do that every day. Just go, hey man, I'm about to live stream me doing the dishes. Here we go.
Watch me return the shopping cart. Come on.
I'm doing that tomorrow. I'm going to put one of those up, and I'm going to tag you.
If you have the energy of the Sham Wow guy, every time you did it, it would be out of. You would probably blow up.
Who was the guy from the 90s who was a blonde guy, ponytail, Tony, fitness guy?
Tony Little, wasn't it?
Yes.
Tony Little. Yeah, that's right.
The stride right.
The stride right. That was gold.
Yeah, he was a guest on the Stephanie Miller show. Yeah, we are breeding controversy in order to get clicks and attention and all those things. And even with my daughters that'll try to post stuff and we'll look at it and go, no, that's you're this age, that's a little provocative. Mm-hmm. They want to emulate what they see, and then that part does. That kind of bugs me a little bit. Just be a normal kid. We tried so hard. They're at the beach, like 200 yards away. And it's like, get out there. Just go on the sand and play. Get off the device.
Were they on their iPads and stuff while they were on the beach?
No. Well, yeah, one of them. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
My little girls, Carlos, right? They wanted to go do the talent show in grade school. So they're rehearsing and they're going to do a Spice Girls song. And I'm like, that is so cute. And I'm like, what song? And then they come down and perform it, and it's Two Become One. And I'm like, oh, no. Could we do another song? And I cannot for the life of me remember the other song, but they chose another one that is equally filthy for little girls to be singing. And it was just like, oh, but Dad, you bought us a CD. And I'm like, yes. And I'm seeing the error of my ways. I was just thinking,
Oops.
tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'm thinking that's all fun girl power. And it's like, oh my God, what have I done to my children?
My daughter,
You were thinking nutmeg and they went cayenne.
Yeah, exactly.
She's doing Dua Lipa, and like in the song, it's like 1, I'm going to his place. 2, if I wake up under him, I'm like, I go, oh, I'm trying to, and I just listened to the new Post Malone one, Chemical, and he goes, you fuck out all my brains. I'm like, I'm reaching, trying to turn the thing off as fast as humanly possible.
We can't stop it.
Crazy. Hey, I want to change subjects because today I took my 2 daughters to the optometrist, and with 2 guys
I saw
glasses on. So Hannah already needed glasses, and it was like a fight every day. And I had a really heart-to-heart with her, with the doctor today, going, dude, you're killing me. She can't, her readings test kind of scored low because she would take it without her glasses on. So she had a different prescription. My second daughter, all of a sudden they're like, yeah, she needs glasses to read with. Her eyes are starting to go a little. And it was arguably one of the most expensive days I've ever had. I was like, I'm sorry, what? And so they try to sell you the glasses. And, she goes, oh, here, try these frames on. And I go, how much are those? And she goes, those are $300 plus $295 to put the glass in. And I was like, yeah, we're not. I go, she's 8. She's going to lose them in a week.
She'll wear a monocle like Bud Friedman.
We're going to try Costco, and we're going to go Zenny online or something.
Yes. Let me help you. Zenny online. They start as low as $6.95 for the frames. You can order the lenses through them. Do it. Zenny is the way to go. Especially.
Are you an affiliate or something?
No, but my God,
amazing.
I've raised like 11 children.
Yeah.
11 children. And this is what happens with glasses. Oh, I've got my new glasses. This is great. Dad, where are my glasses?
Yeah.
I can't find my glasses anywhere. And they're gone. Or they've sat on them and they're all conky. And then I'm out another $2.95 to go get a new pair. Or Zenny Eyewear, $6.95.
Why are glasses so expensive? And why, Carlos, I don't know if your daughter has glasses, insurance for vision is not great. It's not great. And I have like really good health insurance through SAG-AFTRA.
Oh, yeah, the vision stuff.
The vision's terrible.
It's terrible. You'd have to be blinded by acid in a nuclear bomb explosion. And then maybe they'll give you $5 off.
Let me get some acid with the kids. The kids show up, they're acid burned. I go, hey, can you write this
allow me to do a bad Roseanne Barr. Your kids don't need glasses. Just give them some fentanyl. Screw them up so much they'll be able to see straight again.
That's pretty spot on.
It was pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay,
how does Billy Crystal feel about?
He says, give your kids fentanyl to cure their eyes.
That's right.
How does Billy Crystal feel about kids wearing glasses?
They don't need them because they're not going to read anything interesting. They won't remember it. Not worth it. They don't need to see you lose your temper. All the guy screaming in the house. It wasn't me. It was a redhead guy with a bad beard, but it wasn't your dad.
Oh. So awfully white. I gotta shave it. My wife's like,
they don't need it. Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah, it's just you could probably just take them on a trip to Canada, and then have them get glasses there, and it'd be worth the price of the flight. And you get a vacation.
Sam's Club, you can go get the eye exam now, and get pretty inexpensive glasses, or just go get the inexpensive eye exam for $59, and then send the prescription over to Zenny, so you're out $100.
Well, I got the prescription, and I go, hey, yeah, I'm not going to buy these. Can I just get the prescription? And she was like, and I said something about like Costco or Zenny. She goes, yeah, those are good too. You can use those. But we've had people who've come and it didn't go great at one of those places. And I was like, so, if I give you $300, this is going to work out fantastic for my children. Is that what you're saying? Which was basically what they were trying to say.
They do it.
Boutique places, man. It's like, how much? Really, $1,000 for an 8-year-old? What are you, crazy?
They do it at the senior living place too. They come in and they get everybody up on one floor. They do these little eye exam things like, oh yeah, you need glasses. Here's a crate of everything we have. They just sell. It's like these guys have got 2 years to live, It's like, let them just have bad vision. The food is already horrible. It's not like it's going to get better.
She tried to give me a prescription, and I go, because I have the reader contacts that I wear that are fantastic. By the way, anybody I never had glasses my whole life, but I needed readers at a certain point, and I have contacts that are fantastic. But when I take them out, she's like, oh, well, you could have this prescription. I go, I got the readers from CVS. Like, I'm only using them at the end of the night where I'm like trying to look at something, and it's like, yeah, I'm not spending $700. I get that. I'm the old guy with the readers from CVS, which, by the way, pretty good. They're pretty good. They're pretty cool glasses.
Hey, team 1.5.
Are you? I asked her. I go, so what would I be, like a 2, 2.5? She goes, oh, you're probably a 3 plus 3. I go, really? Because my other ones are like a 1.5. I go,
That's crazy.
That's a new James Bond film. Old Eye.
These are the kinds of things when you have kids, it's like you start to realize, oh yeah, did our parents, because we haven't even gotten braces yet. I told you the story about like the last time we went there, like, oh, she needs braces. It's going to be $5,200, but if you sign right now, we're going to take $90 off. And I go, yeah, her teeth aren't even in yet. I'm not crazy. But I feel like everybody you bleed parents with travel sports, club sports, glasses, braces. What else is there? What else where they're trying to, book clubs or the online apps, Apple Arcade. Everything is like a monthly charge where they just bleed you. Yeah.
Pierced earrings, all that kind of stuff.
My daughter, for her school, they're doing a big senior trip to or junior trip to France this year. Here's it, guys. It includes your airfare. They're going to be there for 6 days. It's only $5,200. And I'm like, wait a minute. I've gone on tours that I lead, and we are there in France for 11 days. And I brought both of my daughters, and out of pocket was less than $3,200 per kid. And that included my airfare. And we got to see everything, and our meals were included. Why is this so expensive? Well, it's a school thing, right? Shouldn't they be getting discounts for the school or something? And it's just insane. And then, not happening.
Well, it's that guy. Well, he got a paycheck. He got paid. That's like, dude, the school photos. We're at a school. I go. All of us have, like, that used to be in the day when nobody had good cameras. Everybody has arguably just as good a camera in their hand that they're carrying. They won't let you take the photo yourself. I go, why don't we just have one of the parents do it? We all chip in. We cover the cost. We'll save so much money. They're just sending us digital copies that we could print for $12. Why are we spending hundreds of dollars on this bullshit?
Let's just go to the smokehouse and get one big table. Go to the smokehouse in Burbank. That dude will take it. That Russian girl will take it for you. You go as far as
exactly right.
And there you go.
It's so funny. My wife the other day was paying the Amex bill and stuff. She's like, where'd all the money go? I go, have you seen the 2 kids sitting in that room over there?
Yeah, man.
She's about to start school. I gotta get Hannah doesn't have a laptop or a computer. She's going into 5th grade. I'm like, all right, I guess we're getting an iPad with a keyboard of some sort. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Yeah, they're financial black holes, kids. They just suck it all out of you.
And you think that once they get to a certain age that it stops. But I found something, and I shared it with Jason to share with you guys tonight. I need you to weigh in on this because, again, for anything you think you've gone through already with your children, I don't think anybody's prepared for what we've got. Jason, do you have that video?
I do. I shall play it now. It's a bit on the long side, but the discussion after will be worth it.
I sued my parents for having me without my permission. So my parents that I sued, they contributed to, conceiving me, and my mother that raised me, she gave birth to me. And that's why I sued them, because I did not consent to being here. Like, I was unaware that I was going to have to grow up and get a job to support myself. And I just didn't consent to that. They didn't try to contact me in any way before I was born to see if I actually wanted to be here. And that's why I sued them. Now, it's different. Like, I know I've said it's like unethical to have children before, but it's different when you adopt, because it's not my fault that they're here. I'm just trying to be a good person and like help them out. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you are pregnant right now, you need to hire a psychic medium and ask your child if they actually want to be here. But keep in mind, if they don't, you need to terminate. Otherwise, they will sue you, because I'm making that my life mission, to teach children to sue their parents so they don't have to work. Yes. My parents did kick me out on my 18th birthday. They actually came into my room the day I turned 18. They had keys in their hands, and they were like, these are yours to your new place. You cannot stay here. Get out. And I just wasn't expecting that, It's like, I thought I was going to get like a happy birthday or something, but they were just like, we've done our job. Get out. So I go to my new house, and the one they bought me was only 1,200 square foot. The house I grew up in was like 4,500, and it had a home theater, in-ground pool, tennis court. It was like staying at a resort. And I just wasn't expecting that. And that's when I first started considering like suing them. And then later on, I was asking them, I was like, hey, look, you raised me in one lifestyle, and then all of a sudden just kick me out. And I'm living in a 1,200 square foot home with like normal people, And they were like, you got to learn some responsibility. If you want more, go get a job. And I was like, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up to be here. And it was then that I decided, they don't want to help me. I'm just going to take them to court and make them help me. And that's what I did. Yes, my parents did buy me.
Oh, it all seems like the same girl. It's got to be a parody. Come on.
I don't think it is. But honestly, if it was a parody, it's the most brilliant piece of comedy. Yes. And I wish I'd have thought of it. It's absolute genius. But she's dead. I feel like she's
dead serious, right, Dave?
I don't know I'm not sure what pronouns that person's using, but
I would say twat. Twat is the pronoun that fits her best. Her mom should have swallowed, but I digress.
David.
What?
Family show.
She's the one that said she didn't even want to be born. I'm just saying.
By the way, I kind of partially agree with her. It's kind of.
Of course you do.
Oh my God!
I get it. I totally understand it. I feel like that some days. I'm like, hey, I didn't ask to be.
Can I quote the old Rodney Dangerfield joke?
Yes.
I got no respect. My kid here the other day, she said, hey, I never asked to be born. If you would have, the answer would have been no.
Well, she sued and got $5,000 a month from.
Are you kidding?
From her parents. Yeah, if you keep watching that video, it's terrifying. But the parents fought it, so they reversed it. So she's taking it to a higher. It's the most infuriating piece of footage I've ever seen, and I have heard people speak like this who believe that they shouldn't have to achieve or do it because this was not what they would have conceived. Jason and I talked about it before the show. We're kind of considering suing her parents for not giving birth to us because I really feel like they kind of screwed us in this deal too.
Yeah, I'm suing to my kids too.
Square foot house.
I was accustomed to 8 hours of sleep at least a day, all of my money. I was accustomed to be able to just travel when I wanted to, leave. I was accustomed to not having to get up and drive them to school. I was accustomed to all those things. I'm suing my kids.
Dave was going to sue that girl's parents, and Carlos says, no, I'm just suing my children. I'm right out of the children.
You know why? Because I can afford a better lawyer than they can.
It kind of brings you back to the early 1900s when they would just make children work at like the age of 7. You're like, maybe we should go back to that.
Yeah.
Maybe these kids have too much time on their hands, and that's why they're bored. Maybe a couple days in the out in the fields would help them.
Although if that works, I might go to law school real quick, like a prisoner, and teach myself the law in this little voiceover booth and represent those kids.
Right.
Well, we'll make money off the back end.
Gloria Allred's got to jump on this. I'm sure she's going to be the next attorney to step forward.
Dude, is that the same person as Kevin Costner's wife that he's divorcing? It feels like. Did you see that whole story?
Yeah.
No.
She signed a prenup because he got burned on his first marriage really badly. So he did the crazy prenup that said, you get this, you get nothing else or whatever. And she's not moving out of the house. She's like, no way. And she asked for, I think it was, I want to say like $300,000 a month or something to complete her. You have to read the numbers of like how much face surgery she's having per month, what her lifestyle is, how it's going to have to change. And she can't live off of what Costner's giving her. And then the judge sided with Costner and said she's got to be out of the house in like 10 days. She said she won't leave the house. She's like, I mean, if that's not a movie where you're like, hey, it's not working out. And she's like, I'm going to be on this side.
Wow, that's poltergeist-like behavior. I love that. She's a living poltergeist.
Crazy. I mean, it's so crazy. You know, we were at my friend's house the other day, and he's like, his house looks down over this canyon, and he had like a 6-inch little wall right there. And then it was like sheer drop. And I go, dude, he goes, yeah, well, he's awesome. He goes, yeah, we're just going to take it. We'll see what happens. I go, you better have insurance because someone's going to sue you. Like, that people just first and foremost think I'm suing for what? I don't know yet. Let me work out the details. But I'm getting some money out of this right now. It's crazy.
I'm suing you guys because I'm having to crane my neck to look up to where my camera is. And if I'm not doing the show, I may not have these chiropractic spinal problems. And so you'll be hearing from my lawyer.
It is crazy. We had some
kid
not even the first lawsuit we've had this week, actually.
Yeah.
Really? Second lawsuit? What was the first one?
Mulligan.
Mulligan did a lawsuit?
Yeah. Unfair working conditions. Jamie upsets her.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Three contracts. Way to go back. Luckily, I had a prenup for everyone. It's crazy though. Like everything is just lawsuit. My wife works in the corporate world, and she's like, "You wouldn't believe it, man. People sue. They go, you know, they're making me work. I had to work like a weekend or something. Like people lose their minds and go like, they didn't provide me lunch. I'm suing. It's nuts. That's happened to my buddy at his country club. The guy was like, well, you know, they had a big brunch for all the members of the country club. And so they told the staff, they said, you know, if you just wait like 30 minutes, you can take whatever's left. It's a beautiful buffet or something. And the guy didn't want to wait. And so he ended up in his lawsuit said they deprived me of lunch one day or something. The dude was like, really? That's where you're going with this? And they were like, yeah. They just know people will settle and go, here's 90 grand. Get out of my hair. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. That is the active verb of the 21st century, to sue. I am a sewer, one of the Suant family.
It's the Roy Cohn school of making money. Sue. I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I wonder if my dog's going to sue me because I only give him 2 walks a day.
If he could, he would.
Yeah, I feel like Max has got a pretty good case for you there, Jamie.
Like crazy. My dog's like almost 19. He can't see. I walk him around the block, and we get like there's a wall before I get.
Go to Zeddy. Where does he have to go? Zinni? If your dog can't see, get those cheap glasses.
My wife said the same thing. I go, yeah, like we have money for that. He goes to walk, and instead of going to the driveway, he turned like 5 feet short and was like, bonk, right in the wall. He's like, what was that? He has no idea where he is. But it's the same dog that an owl tried. I remember I told you the owl tried to take him one night.
Oh,
yeah. Owl, full talons out, landed on his back and stumbled over him and tried to pick him up. He was too heavy, couldn't get him.
Oh, God.
At dusk. I haven't told you that? The owl clipped my ear as he came in, wings spread. I was like, I thought it was a jogger running by me. All of a sudden, I looked down, full wingspan, like a pterodactyl on top of the dog. And the dog didn't even know it. He just kept walking up into the garage. The owl tumbled over and stood there and stared at me with his horns. And I was like, he was like 3.5 feet tall. He was a huge owl, man. I was like, holy cow.
If you would have gotten your dog, could you sue the National Wildlife Foundation for protecting those birds?
Yeah,
when they're obviously dog killers?
Or probably the legal guardians of the owl at the very least.
There's a coyote, and there's a house that's being under construction right now, and there's a coyote apparently living there, and everyone's up in arms about getting animal control. Get that coyote out of there. And I'm like, he has no place to live. We've taken all of his land.
But keep an eye on them, because if Acme trucks start pulling up and dropping off boxes, you might have a bigger problem.
That's
just sticks of dynamite, yeah. And an anvil.
What are you up to, buddy? You're traveling a lot doing the Comic-Cons, right?
Yeah, I've got a couple coming up in September. Again, I'll be back in Pennsylvania in September, West Palm Beach at the end of August, and then in Normal, Illinois / Bloomington, Illinois, the last weekend in September. And then I'm doing voiceover work, and we're going to go to Hawaii next week with the family.
Are you going to UltraCon?
Is that what
in West Palm?
Yes, UltraCon.
I may also be there.
Yes, come visit me with the seaweed coming up on the shores, and
I'm working. I'm doing an event thing there, so I may be down there with you.
let's hook up and drink some whiskey or bourbon.
I
doing
love that idea.
Taking care of my mom. My mom's got to go do a few doctor's appointments, so I'll be doing that kind of fun stuff around here. And big holiday to the Disney Resort in Honolulu, and we're very white complected, so hopefully I won't be suing Hawaii for a sunburn.
Well, we'll be suing somebody. Somebody will definitely be sued, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Carlos, the Hawaiian sun is no joke. I am white. I went out for 20 minutes. I looked like a red lobster. It was unbelievable, and I've never felt the sun that hot in my entire life.
Yeah,
so fast to try to eat my flesh.
And in July, we're in trouble. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm up to.
You need to reach out, Carlos, to GalaxyCon. GalaxyCon has got 4 of these, and they've got a lot of the voiceover and cartoon legends that are at these conventions, and they're banking, son. You got to get out to one of those because I'm at all of them this year. You got to come on out and we'll hang out.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, I'm trying to, working with different promoters, and it's picking up a little bit. So yeah, I'm always up for traveling and stuff like that. But I noticed since the strike, they were really trying to cram a bunch of voiceover work in case that writers union is different than WGA. So, but if the actors go on strike, just in case, they've been piling on the VO work. So luckily, I've been busy in that respect. But just doing the summer with kids like everybody else. Everything is like being a shuttle driver, paying for things, all those kinds of things. But that's being a parent.
It's being a parent. Well, listen, Carlos, I know you're beat up and I know you're exhausted. I'm so thankful that you pop in to share some stories with us. Will you tell us really quick what Archie's up to for the rest of the summer before I let you go?
Well, I'm going to go down to St. Andrews, you see, and try to get my membership back. It's about 23 years ago when I lost my membership.
You're a big golfer, are you? Big golfer. You're a big golfer.
Big golfer.
I've got a wee bit cranky after missing a shot and tossed my 9-iron to one of the stained glass windows there in the chapel and killed the priest. So I've got to make amends, and hopefully I'll be working on getting my membership back at St. Andrews and then I'm going to have a few shifties of a Lafroy to help myself enjoy the summer.
Well, you earned it, Archie. All right, listen, Carlos Rocky, everybody, thank you for joining us, brother. I love you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
See you in UltraCon, Jason.
See you then.
We got to check in with Jason Gowan here before we go, because he's often working the controls so much that we don't get really a chance to talk about how he has insane children and brain lesions and some other issues happening. What's going on?
So brain lesions are in a holding pattern. The pain is moving up into my shoulders. I'm sure it's fine. It's fine.
Well, we talked about it before. You have numb arms. Your wife had a stroke. She can't drive. You have a pair of twins.
4 years, and they're 4 and nonverbal, so they can't even tell us what's happening.
Nonverbal. And then you have an older son who I think tries to burn the house down daily or something.
Jamie, did you happen to see the video of when you and I were doing the Brooker Family Podcast? Did you see the video?
No.
I'm going to pop it up right now. So while you and I were doing that interview.
Jay, you
really
back off your microphone.
Really hot, brother. You're burning. Your mic is so hot.
How about now?
Still, nothing changed.
Bring it down a scooch. Yeah. Bring it down a scooch, and then we'll play this video.
Hold on.
So this was when we were doing the Heather Brooker's podcast.
Yes.
Okay.
And I happened to notice him come in from the side, and I don't know what's happening because the volume is.
You're on the wrong mic then. My guess is you're on the computer and you're not on the mic. I'm not sure, but it's blasting.
It says I'm on the right mic.
Okay. Talk soft.
Okay.
Let's hear what Heather Brooker. Yeah, let's use your.
Okay. So I'm going to use my ASMR voice.
There it is.
There we go. So Jace came in and was trying to get my attention, and I had told him he wasn't to make a sound. And to his credit, he never did. And unfortunately for him, my Ring camera caught the rest. I will now play that footage.
Well, for those of you listening on iTunes, I will narrate. Is that possible?
Maybe.
We'll see. All right.
And I have a 7-year-old, and my wife thought it would be funny to split her or something.
Well, for those of you who are just listening to this, he is doing a podcast, and his son. Oh my gosh, that is amazing! He is doing like a Saturday Night Fever.
Right
Dave
now,
Schrader, you can
he has
unmute yourself.
Super Mario Brothers who
Oh, and then he has to put the logo up because he's taking his clothes off. He's getting stark naked. Oh, can you take the logo down? He's obviously, for those of you guys, he is naked.
Yeah.
And there's a logo.
He went from Pikachu costume to take a peek at me, Dad.
This is funny. He did. He's totally nude. Do you remember when you were in college and the first time you really like felt comfortable with a girl and you came out of the shower and you I think it was called a donkey slap or something? It feels like he's doing that.
Jesus,
you remember the donkey slap?
It's either that or it's. I believe in the East Coast, it's called the Piggle Wiggle.
Oh, the Piggle Wiggle. It was a donkey slap. Or we also had the towel hook. We would walk out. We'd go like hands up, and you go, "Hey, who wants a towel?" Nobody ever did.
No. I'm 56 and I'm still not comfortable walking naked out of the shower. I pull the towel into the shower, wrap it around me. It's just the only way. It's best that way for everybody.
Listen, everybody's got. I wish I was as comfortable. I like to, but back then I think there was some more comfortability when I wasn't covered in white reddish fur. That usually is when you look like Dr. Zaius, in his later years. It's not a great.
Like a calico cat is wrapped around the bottom of your face and over the top of your head.
Very much so.
Dave, don't you think that maybe he could play George Lutz in the next Amityville Horror remake? Like he started getting that vibe to him.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a photo of William Wellman. Do you know who he is?
No.
I'm going to show you this guy. He was a huge director in the 1930s. And here it is. Yeah, this is great. If you tell me if I don't look exactly like this cat. Where's this thing? Let me blow this up. Oh, yeah, it's so good. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
I might shave my mustache literally into that exact formation to be like.
I have tried to figure out how to do those. I want like the Montgomery Clift or whatever his name was. It had the little pencil, the David Niven. I want the pencil mustache. I can't figure out. I don't think it's real. There's
our phone. We got a new phone case. Actually, we have a big merch thing coming out. We ended up finally.
Is my mic better now? Am I better now?
Yes, way better.
Right. Perfect timing with 3 minutes to spare in the show. It's great.
Exactly.
So StreamYard was adjusting my mic on its own, and when I shut off the automatic, I was able to fix it.
There you go. How was you have the youngest and the craziest children. How was your 4th of July weekend? Was it a rich, rewarding parental dreamscape, or was it a like, oh my gosh, when will the holidays end and these kids go back to school?
Well, I mean, that's every day, but it was pretty quiet. 4th of July was really quiet. We went to, our buddy Trevor had, his family had a big to-do, and we went over there. Jace, our kids, we had never let them use fireworks, and so Jace did sparklers for the first time, which was cool to get him to see him do all that stuff. And the twins had a really good time. There was good food. It was actually a pretty decent 4th of July. Especially for us. Yeah. I mean, was it a nice break from my everyday nightmarish hell? Absolutely.
I mean, my kids were unbelievably spoiled. Like, our next door neighbor has a great pool and a jacuzzi, and the kids were in the jacuzzi. And I just remember them. I was sitting on the couch, like having a drink, and we were shooting darts or something. And my kids yelled from the jacuzzi, "Hey, bring us some water." And that's when I was kind of like, maybe we're raising children who feel entitled.
And may sue you one day.
Dude, that's them. I wish I'd have thought of that. That's arguably. And I kind of, before I had kids, I did think that in my head because I've known people with horrible depression and life is hard. Dude, I just watched Unbroken, that dude, Louis Zamperini, who he was an Olympic athlete, and then he goes to World War II. and his plane gets shot down. Then he gets captured by the Japanese and kept in it. You're like, oh yeah. Sometimes life is rough, man. It doesn't work out that great. And so I always think like that when I see my kids. I'm like, I wonder what they're like. Well, will they just be miserable and depressed and they're 35 years old? I just don't know. It drives me crazy.
If they don't, they're missing out on something. I've actually considered suing Big Tobacco because I was born in the heat of smoking is fine while you're pregnant. And I went bald at 21. I had WPW. I have a hole in my heart. WPW is a problem with your heart. I have a hole in my heart. I have esophageal reflux disorder. I have a bad stomach. I have bad knees. I've got all these things associated with long-term smoking issues in vitro. And I actually contacted an attorney once and told him, and I'm like, this is all. And they said, well, you'd have to sue your mom. And I'm like, no, because mom was taking the information that was given at the time and that it wouldn't hurt the fetus. Why are we not suing Big Tobacco for Dave Schrader's, premature balding? And they wouldn't touch it, Jimmy. Wouldn't touch it.
Sounds, shit, how's that not good? That's
right. Doesn't that sound like it is the perfect reason to sue?
I love that Carlos was to his kids. I do. I mean, in a weird way, I see her point. I do think there's a bit of it would be an interesting case in a trial, wouldn't it? To go
I'll give you it's an interesting case, but I don't think she's right. I mean,
no. Listen, Jamie,
you
were
brought
the
me
little
here.
sperm. You were the sperm.
responsible.
No. Dad ejaculated. That's the end of his job. Mom laid there, probably disinterested. You swam all the way up the channel, pushing others out of the way, scrambling to get to the egg.
It would be I would love to see that court case. I think it would be very intriguing to go. You're responsible for that. Like, say you had a dog. Say you take a dog. Jason should sue his arm for being numb. What about a dog? Like, the dog didn't ask to be there, right? And you're responsible for that dog their whole life because they can't take care of themselves, right? Dogs can't take care of themselves. What if you have a kid who can't take care of if you have a kid who can't take care of themselves, which many people do. I have friends who have autistic children and some kids can't, and they help them their whole lives. I mean, maybe that person is like, I just can't deal with the outside world. I'm going to really need to stay in this 4,500 square foot house for the rest of my life.
I wonder if that umbrella policy that we're all sold when we originally get our homeowners, that $1 million umbrella would cover a lawsuit like that.
Look at narcolepsy. I'm going to sue.
Yeah, Rudy's tearing it up down there.
I'm going to sue a burrito for making me go through the effort of actually eating it. By next week, we got to all figure out our 4 or 5 lawsuits that we're
going to. 4 or 5 lawsuits? Yes.
I'm lining them up right now.
I would argue I could probably sue the twins for hurting my wife.
That's actually true. They gave her a stroke.
They gave her a stroke.
In a way, you
Jason, no.
They ruined my. She could sue you.
I've never seen a paternity test killer. That'll never hold up.
Please, they're going to swab your mouth before the trial. Trust me.
No, because she does this thing where she says things like, well, they look just like you. All babies look like me. Nice try.
No, Jason, I'm pretty sure that these kids not only come from your seed, they may be each one of your testicles just come to life. Yeah, that's how close to you that they are.
The one does hang slightly lower than the other.
That's right. And the other one's dancing in the wind by himself half the time. I'm just saying there's a good chance that could be the case.
And every time you go to the bathroom, they dip into the toilet bowl. You know how it works. It's each year they get a little lower, little
lower. Yeah.
And if they get hit, it really hurts. Really hurts. All right. I think we have pretty much. My wife's out of town. I have to go watch 2 kids get to bed, I guess. I mean, it's summer. Have you guys been letting your kids stay up late?
No.
But that's for your own sanity. It has nothing to do with them. You're
Yeah.
just like,
Well, Jace is still going to school, so he's doing a summer program, and then I just don't want to deal with the other two.
Yeah.
did you ever, when they were that age and they couldn't tell time, I would put them to bed, like especially in winter when it was dark at like 5:30. I would just go, I was done, and I would go, it's time for bed, and they go, really? And I go, yeah, look, it's dark outside. And then summer come around, and it would be like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and they'd be like, no, it's still light. And I go, no, it doesn't.
Jace is currently using the "It's Still Light Out" defense every day, and I'm like,
That's why you've got to paint like the kids' rooms. They should just have no windows. Kids' rooms should have no windows. They should
get those
no
blackout blinds. Blackout blinds.
No,
that's the way to go.
That's
Yeah, and then you go on the outside and duct tape like black garbage liners to the windows. Sound machine, a light fan with a breeze over them. They'll sleep for weeks, and never ever.
You could even do it like Gitmo and do a little bit of sleep deprivation, so that when, like during the day, put them in there with loud heavy metal and flashing strobe light stuff, and then they'll just keep them up for like a day or two, and then when they do sleep, they're gonna sleep like kings.
Mine would somehow power through it, but they also were created in the dark realms.
I broke my father once when he said, all right, bedtime, come on, it's 8 o'clock. And I go, well, no, not yet. And he goes, what do you mean not yet? I go, well, it's still 8 o'clock. I should go to bed at 8:30 because you said that I get to stay up to 8, and it's still 8 until it's 8:30. And my dad just kind of looked at me, and you could see the wheels, a couple of beers in, a Bloody Mary in, and he just, that was my first litigation I won. I would like you to know. And my dad just said, all right, 8:30. And he walked out of the room, and I could mentally hear the springs and the gears grinding in his head, trying to figure out the math. It's 7 until it's 7:30.
It's 7 till it's 7:01. But yeah,
no, I was thinking broader.
Time doesn't have to work on 30-minute increments.
Steve's always been a big picture guy.
By the way, Narcolepsy says, Jamie, the entire run of this show is going to end up being evidence. Be careful. Ha ha ha. This is one of the few shows I've done sober. And what's scary, this will be the one that buries me, right? All the other times when I'm just rambling on with a glass of wine in my hand.
I just can't wait for Gowan's boys when they're 21, 22, and they're at college hanging out with their buddies, fooling everybody that make them think that they were nonverbal all those years. And then they sit down to watch some of Dad's, and he's like, yeah, I should sue him. Look at the damage they did to their mother. And these kids are going to be like, what did we do? Did we do that?
Well,
the mental scarring, Jay.
All of a sudden they won't shut up, and he'll be like, why didn't you guys talk earlier? And they go, well, we didn't have anything to say.
Yeah.
They're in a thing right now where they're really angry with each other, and it's a vicious twin fight. And for two people who were originally the same egg, it just seems inhumane the way that they just destroy each other.
Could you, I think when you officially record your theme song, the name of your band should be Vicious Twin Fight. If you don't use that as the name of a band,
that's
the greatest band name ever.
And the album cover is those two kids. You know when they put the two kids into one T-shirt, so they have to kind of be together. That's the album cover.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, naked from the waist down, like Nirvana. Never mind.
Yeah. And then the picture of Jace with his Pikachu costume around his ankles.
That kid sued Nirvana.
Yes, he did.
For like child pornography or something.
Shouldn't he have sued his parents for signing off and agreeing to that, and his manager for allowing?
It's weird how they always sue the person who has the most money. He's like, I could sue my parents, or I could sue the $1 billion band of Nirvana. He lost, by the way. VTF. Do I supposed to? What's VTF?
Vicious Twin Fights.
Oh, Vicious Twin Fights.
Yeah.
All right, listen. We already went longer than I said we were going to. I got to go put two kids to bed. Jason, please let everyone know what they need to do to be part of this parental mental health gang we got going on.
We typically are live every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Facebook.com/The Parents Lounge, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and all of Dave Schrader's feeds as well. You can get new episodes of the audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts. every Monday and Thursday.
I love it. I'm looking at what my mustache is going to look like when I shave it in. It's going to look
Also,
awesome.
October 6th and 7th, we are going to be in Sayre, Pennsylvania for the Parents Lounge live stand-up comedy show. Justin Ruppel will be joining us this year as our third.
We already got a bunch of bits with that dude doing every impression on earth. So that's going to be super fun. All right. That is it from here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Huge thanks to our pal, Dave Schrader. Always welcome. We love having you. For Jason Gowan, Jamie Kaler, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week, next Tuesday here on the Parents Lounge.
Good night, everybody.